Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. Now, with that being said, I want to talk to you guys about a few things happening. We have started to see subtle hints and kind of odd messages being posted over on the debt clock. And I outlined this in a recent video. I was actually talking to you guys about some of the images that were being posted on the Debt Clock website. Now, beyond this, right? We know something very big is on its way around the global financial system. How do we know this? Well, because the BIS has told us this. The IMF has told us this, the World Bank has been telling us this, almost every single major player behind the global financial system has been telling us this. Now, they don't just come out and say, hey, we're going to use XRP, we're going to use this, we're going to do that. No, they're not going to say that. One thing that's clear to me is that we need to decipher what these elites are actually telling us. I see so many people in the XRP community and so many people around, crypto say they're not using this because they don't say that they're using that. Or, oh, it's not XRP. It's this even though it doesn't say anything like that. There's only a few documents out there, from the elites, that have mentioned specific cryptocurrencies. XRP, XLM, Q, and T. They're mainly the only ones that have been mentioned on a lot of these documents. I keep saying time and time again, that you need to be aware of what the elites are doing. Most people out there are going to be taken by storm, once we start to see a lot of these things roll out, because it's changing money. Money, as we know, is changing. And what the debt clock has been telling us is that money is made up, it's fake. We need to go back to gold, silver. And I think that we're starting to kind of see that all aligning right. We've talked about this in the past, that like a big change is coming, whether it be a gold-backed system, whether it be gold DLT blockchain crypto, it does not matter, right? All we need to be aware of is that a major changes coming DLT is a crucial piece of the puzzle. And it seems as though gold and silver are also a crucial piece of the puzzle. And how do we know this? Well, it's because of what the central banks and the elites have been doing. They're not stockpiling US dollars. Now, they're stockpiling gold. They're talking about tapping into DLT. They're talking about tapping into blockchain. We are witnessing a fundamental change around money and the financial system, a change that we haven't seen ever before, a change that is well overdue. But beyond this, the reason why I bring back up the US debt clock image is because we recently seen a new one. Shout out to Ryan Cunningham. He actually sent me this in my messages over on Twitter. And when you see tonight's debt clock image, there's no money left. It's all fake. It's time to return to the gold and silver standard with those assets cataloged on decentralized blockchain. Now, of course, he's talking about XRP here. I don't know, right? I don't know if it's going to be XRP in terms of like moving all the money or anything like that. I've always said it's more of a model than, truth. I don't think XRP is going to move all the money. There's multiple players in this space that I think will be part of that facilitation of money. But I don't think that's just going to be XRP. But again, it doesn't have to be all the money that XRP moves, even small percentages will make those that actually see this and are aware of it very, very wealthy. But beyond that, here is the image, right? Now, as you guys do see the switch, right? The red and green switch. It's not highlighted. But if we actually look at what happened later on, well, we actually now see that the green button is lit up, meaning the switch has happened. Now, I don't know if this is on par with the flip the switch narrative or anything like that. But I do think something like that is going to happen, where we do see a switch from the old system to the new system, and it could happen in November. I've been talking to you guys about this for a little bit of time, but one thing that I'm aware of is the bank crisis. It's not over. This got posted back in July. This is the coming bank crisis no one is talking about, and this is from inc.com. Now they talked about Silicon Valley Bank is nothing compared to what's coming. And they were talking about shrinking office space, which is more so, commercial real estate. The looming liquidity crisis was yes, liquidity is still constricted today, and also making the switch. Now, as we really kind of look at what's happening behind banks, I've said it time and time again, banks are in a tough spot because whether or not we get out of this without seeing them recession saver, so we don't see a recession, we bounce back. What's the major lesson here to be learned? 1. Banks have not learned their lesson since 2008. To money, it's a scam. We know that in 3 central banks. And bankers are a big problem because they don't? Well, I shouldn't say that they don't know how to manage money. I think that they just choose not to know, because these are people that massively print, even Janet Yellen, right? Like, can we really kind of look at Janet Yellen? These people want to print another $17 or $18 trillion within the next 7 years. While we see liquidity constricted, while we see banks trying to stay afloat, while we see the economy, the worst has ever been like this is a big problem, right? But they don't care. But this is why we need to see some major change, because our current system is not working. And it hasn't worked for decades, ever since we made the switch from the gold standard. So that's why a lot of people think that we're going back in time to the gold standard. And I've talked about this, how DLT XRP and gold and silver can play their own role. Whether it be that or not. I still believe that DLT crypto is a crucial piece of this new system. We already know that the elites want CBDCs. We don't know if we're going to see the CBDC, adoption that they want. But if we do, then yes, I think that could be a success for them specifically, for retail. I don't think that it's really a big success story. Because, again, it's a digital currency dominated by the central banks. So what are we really changing at that? Not much. But the reason why I say that a big change is coming for the world of finance is because, well, we know banks are still in a tough spot. Bank of America recently just reported $131.6 billion in unrealized losses on securities in Q3 of this year. At the same time that we're actually seeing the DTCC, which is the largest mover of securities transactions, 2.3 quadrillion per year, announcing that they're tapping into DLT. And what's crazy about that, is we actually seen a roadmap, so to ISO 22, let's do it be put out. And it's DTCC DLT-based upgrades scheduled to go live this year. Look at this. Let me open this up in a new tab. DTCC launches DLT-based upgrade of Trade Information Warehouse for derivatives scheduled to go live in 2023. Big moves are happening behind traditional financial players that are powerhouses in the world of finance. And we even see DTCC will convert its ISO 22 to corporate action messaging to the SWIFT SR 2023 version of November 19, 2023. So again, November of 2023 this year, next month, is a big time frame to look at. But also we see over here for myself 22, let's do it November 2023, SWIFT cross-border switch update. It now includes date next to activation switch. Look at this. So here's the old, and when you see this article describes the major changes implied by the regulatory changes, which will become effective globally on November 19th of this year. These changes include the channel SWIFT Interbank SWIFT Score, DTA Bolero, and this is the old document. And when you see SWIFT activation setting, the SWIFT 2023 functionality can be activated via a central switch. The new functionality can be switched on and off in the application, allowing to view and test the functionality before the activation date in November of 2023. And over here is no date, SWIFT CBPR plus activation on, there's no date. Now, and by the way, we have blockchain products on the left. Now what we have is this is the new document. You could actually see the full document here, and we have maintaining system. Figuration November 19th. November 19th is the same date of even the DTCC's ISO 22, to corporate action messaging as well on SWIFT. Everything seems to be aligning for November of this year, even the digital euro, they announced November. Like, what is going on here with November? November seems to be the crucial moment around all of this. Now also, going back to Bank of America, what's funny about this is I just included Bank of America in yesterday's video, where we seen Ripple went against SEC, and I said Bank of America praises Ripple for impact on cross-border payments. This was from 4 months ago. I'll report on this. This also comes, roughly almost a year later, after, Bank of America said, hey, we'll love to utilize on-demand liquidity if the ongoing litigation is resolved with the SEC. So, is now the time for Bank of America to tap in? Since again, they're losing a massive amount of money. But also we just seen David Schwartz and shout to flip the chain because he's actually quoting that article. But he said David Schwartz, if the dollar lacks, technically we can lose to technical innovation. Similar to what happened to Sony, because the digital downloads.